Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast Omicron edition. Omicron?
Macron.
Omicron. It's also a gasp, an exclamation. You can be like, oh, me, cron. I can't believe we're back in this
Moshe, you're so negative.
What's
the big deal?
How the tables have turned.
It's just a variant. Who cares?
You're right. Well,
the vaccinated are safe, man.
The truth. Do you not believe that?
Well, our kid's not vaccinated, so it just kind of like, it's not really that. It's just all very complex.
Hey, speaking of complexity and Omicron, it seemed like it's closing in. I feel like now I have more friends currently with COVID than I have the entire 2-year pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting pretty excited about starting this Groundhog's Day year all over again.
It's coming close.
It came so close. Well, this is what I thought we would do tonight for this episode of the podcast. It came so close that I had a COVID-19 exposure. I was in direct exposure.
You're making this sound like
what?
Envious.
Oh, like I'm dope for having had this experience? Yeah. I came so close to getting COVID-19, you guys. You don't have any idea. First of all, our guest tonight, we have 2 guests. They're repeat guests. And I believe that they're the first 2 former guests that we know of to be positive with COVID-19. Okay, this is a first.
Omicron
edition.
And
the Omicron boys are going to be our guests tonight on this podcast.
But I do think that that is a great way to bring them up on stage, too.
These 2 guys, you may have seen them from their exposure to the Omicron variant. They made it through Delta. They made it through whatever the original one was called. And now they have been stopped in their tracks by the Omicron variant. And they exposed me to it. I was exposed to it. But I do not have it. I do not have Omicron. I can say that with confidence.
Why are you making your sick guests do your podcast?
Because I thought it would be funny. Don't you think it's funny to have 2 people with active, full-blown COVID-19 on the...
Funny?
Yeah, funny. Like, this is funny. They have the disease that's been terrifying us for the last 2 years. They're sick with it.
I'd love to ask them some questions. I want to know,
it will be funny.
How long it took to get, before the symptoms came, because they all know where they got exposed.
Well, let's talk to them. I mean, let's talk to our guests who are not... What excuse could they possibly have to be late to the Zoom link? They're at home.
They have COVID-19.
But they're home. They're definitely home.
Well, maybe they're out of it.
What, are they out grabbing a slice?
No, maybe they're in the bath with chills or
We'll bring
fell asleep in a beanbag chair watching something again. I don't know.
Like what? What would be your go-to? Let's say you had COVID-19, full-blown COVID.
Yeah. I know what you'd be watching.
What?
Star Trek.
You ain't never lied. I would get all the way through Voyager. I just finished Deep Space Nine again for the second time. Boy, that's a good show. But then
I would surf around and try to find something good.
Yeah? Like what? What would you'd probably be watching some obscure... You know what your slice of TV life is?
What?
Like a eccentric French billionaire woman. That's the kind of person you like.
What she's up to?
Yeah, what's she up to these days, and how did she decorate her villa?
No, but I will say that, my lowest point go-to would probably be South Park or maybe Frasier.
Those are both good.
No, I know, but I'm saying where you're just I'm just gonna watch this.
Do you think that
how you watch Star Trek?
Do you think Kelsey?
I like it.
Do you think Kelsey Grammer has
Makes
COVID?
Me feel good.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
He feels like a dude that would get COVID, right?
Moshe, what are you basing that on?
I don't know, his weird drug vibe.
He has a drug vibe?
Isn't he a notorious drug person?
Oh, yeah.
His whole thing is that he plays unbelievably high status but lives like a son of anarchy. Isn't that his thing?
Right. Yeah, totally.
Right. Speaking of Kelsey Grammer, who is a huge celebrity and is famous for his comic repertoire with his with Niles What's the dude's name? David whatever.
Hyde Pierce.
David Hyde Pierce, who we once saw in a play on Broadway. Do you remember that? He was great. He's quite an actor. We have a comic duo that we're so lucky to have these guys. I mean, these guys have played quarantines around the country. I mean, they are not, their comedy is so controversial. They are not allowed in physical proximity to another human being for the next 10 days. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Omicron boys themselves, Brent Weinbach and Andrew Michaan, both positive with full-blown COVID-19. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
Your eyes are looking blingin'. You look doughy, and not D-O-U-G-H, D-O-E. What's up with those lashes?
Thank you. That's because I'm wearing Thrive Causemetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara.
Well, you look great. And it's not only an amazing cosmetics company worn by the tastemaker herself, Natasha. They also have a bold mission that's truly bigger than beauty. For every product purchased, Thrive Causemetics donates to help women thrive, like women emerging from homelessness, surviving domestic abuse, fighting cancer, and more. So it's not just a cosmetics company, it's a cosmetics company.
Thrive Causemetics never tests on animals. They're Leaping Bunny and PETA certified as 100% vegan and cruelty-free.
And they've got a variety of sets available this holiday season, which are perfect for gifting or treating yourself.
I love everything about Thrive Causemetics. Their products are the best I've used, and the Bigger Than Beauty mission is truly inspiring. And you're going to love them as much as I do. Visit thrivecosmetics.com/honeymoon for 15% off your first order. Get that mascara. Get the Brilliant Eye Brightener. You can kind of like put it, like highlight different parts of your you do the tip of your nose, a little bit where your lips are, where your eyelashes go, where you're like, if you put mascara on, like where you kind of flare out your eyes. Looks really cool.
I'll do all of those things. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/honeymoon for 15% off your first order. This is an exclusive offer you can only get here. Thrive Cosmetics, ThriveCosmetics.com/honeymoon for 15% off your first order.
ThriveCosmetics.com/honeymoon.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know, this has been the most stressful 2 years in recorded history. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, Moshe.
This is a great time to reach out to somebody and talk to a professional. Everybody needs a little...
Are you talking to me? Because I think I need to.
Me too. Everybody needs a little adjustment. Everybody can use a little bit of therapy, but therapy can be stressful. The idea of going to a therapist, finding the perfect therapist, how often can you talk to that therapist, and how are you going to be able to afford it? Well, all of those problems are solved by Talkspace.
Talkspace is ready to help you start feeling better with a single message. You can set goals with your Talkspace therapist and develop techniques to cope in difficult times. Talkspace offers individual therapy, couples therapy, and medication prescription services.
Hey, wait a minute. They're the #1 online therapy platform. There are thousands of licensed therapists available for you to match with across dozens of specialties, including anxiety, depression, relationships, and more.
Also, Talkspace works around your schedule at your convenience with live video sessions and unlimited messages with your dedicated therapist. I love doing therapy online. It is
so much better.
Superior. It rules.
If you need a little support to help you through the end of the year, or you want to start building towards a better upcoming year, Talkspace is here to help.
Match with a licensed therapist when you go to Talkspace.com and get $100 off your first month with the promo code honeymoon.
That's $100 off when you use code honeymoon at Talkspace.com. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, I mean, this is really, these are very special guests. The Omicron boys of comedy themselves, friends of the show and current full-blown COVID-19 patients with the Omicron variant. Hot breaking news.
Is that why we're allowed to make fun of it like this? Because we think Omicron isn't that serious?
What I know is that these two boys, this might be their last podcast appearance, and we are lucky to have them. It's the Omicron boys themselves, Brent Weinbach and Andrew Michaan. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us, and thanks for letting us bring Omicron with us.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's great to be here. It's great to be here, and if I had known that's how you were going to introduce us, I would have said yes again.
You guys,
it's actually, we're not a duo, we're a trio. It's Andrew, me, and Omicron.
And Omicron, yeah.
Who headlines the shows?
Omicron.
Man, I can't believe you
opening.
guys hang out with him though. Omicron, fuck Omicron. That he sucks.
He is a bit of a wet blanket.
Natasha, honestly, once he gets into you, you're not going to be able to quit him.
Right. You kind of have to just accept him at a certain point. There's Omicron gets what he wants.
I mean, so you guys have straight up full blown COVID right now.
Yeah, weird timing, huh?
I'm wondering if this is the first podcast appearance with two full blown COVID patients at the same time.
I will say this. I mean, full blown is a nice word. It's evocative.
It's very nice.
And so forth. I mean, it's a nice, hyphenated
It has a
word.
ring to it.
It's reminiscent of age.
A hyphen.
And all that stuff. But, to be honest, we're not really full blown. I wouldn't say we're full blown COVID people right now.
Okay, can we just have a little backstory? Can you guys take us through?
We'll do that. But before I just want to push back a little bit, Brent, on what you're saying, not being full blown. Because you are full blown. I don't mean you're full blown within the spectrum of possible severity of infection. You're full blown as in...
You're in the thick of your illness.
Yeah, this is as bad as it'll get for you. You have full pumping COVID right now. For you.
I don't know about that. I think it could get, who knows, it could get worse, but one. And two, because both Andrew and I were not only fully vaccinated, but also, or fully blown vaccinated.
And fully blown.
Were you fully blown boosted?
What?
Were you fully blown boosted?
Right. And fully blown boosted that I think that makes it so that COVID-19, whether it's Omicron or whatever, is not fully blown. And actually, Omicron itself is not as full blown as a different variant.
Oh, okay.
Say what you will, Brent. I'm one of the only people out there who is fully vaccinated, fully boosted, and fully blown right now.
And also, what are you talking about? Omicron's not as serious as you don't. What are you, Dr. Fauci over here, Brent? You don't know.
No,
and
it's
also
true.
it's your body's reaction to it. It could have a different reaction to somebody else.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that because we have been boosted, fully blown, and all that stuff. It's that we're not getting the full blown experience of this. Hold on.
Can we cut for a second? Hey, Brent. The reason we asked you to be on the show is kind of in the full blown thing. So you minimizing your symptoms and stuff like that is kind of it's fucking up the concept of what we're doing here. So I'm gonna say action again, and we'll start. But can we just cut that kind of talk out a little bit?
You have full blown Omicron.
Oh, yeah, okay. Your FBO, hardcore FBO.
Wait,
Brent, you had a bunch of questions. Natasha?
Can you guys talk us through your story because you know where you got it? Can you just give us what's the shortest version of the story?
I was kind of downplaying my symptoms, but I would like to just say for the record that I do have full blown Omicron, which has developed into full blown HIV virus.
Okay, all right.
Brent,
it's a very serious thing.
Brent. Can we cut for a second?
What you wanted? That's what you wanted.
Can we cut for a second? Hey, Brent, that was really good. I liked it. I liked the severity of it, but it felt like it was making light of HIV. It felt like it was a little bit too silly. So let's go back. Let's dial it back a few degrees, and let's find a sweet spot in the middle. Action. Natasha, you had some real questions?
Yeah, can you guys tell us how you got it and just how many hours it took for your symptoms to come in? And also, I would also like to know how many people you each know with Omicron.
I basically got full-blown anal crabs.
Oh, hold on. Can we stop for a sec? Hey, Brent, that was perfect. Okay. That was absolutely perfect. You're right where I want.
Wait. Can we double cut? And actually do a real cut right now?
Yeah, real cut.
I'm really not believing this whole Moshe being the director thing. We all know Natasha directs the podcast.
Okay, sorry.
So next time we do one of these fake cuts, can Natasha be the one giving the instructions? I just know she directs the show. So
that's actually fair. Okay.
Okay, and then back to your cut.
Wait, you say action.
This is very evasive. I'm trying to get some info.
Okay, hold on. Say action, Andrew.
Action.
Go ahead, Natasha.
Andrew, how many people do you know with Omicron right now?
I mean, from social media, a lot of people, I don't know, maybe 30 to 50, but
in your circle of friends?
In my circle of friends, going back to your earlier question, every single person I was on the comedy show with on Monday, including Brent, now seems to be sick with Omicron.
Hold on. Can I tell you a funny timeline story of Andrew, though? Actually, Andrew and I have our own funny timeline to deal with Omicron. But the funny thing is, Andrew and I are on a text chain together. And in the same day, Andrew was texting the thread going, I don't know, you guys, things are pretty bad. Omicron's looking bad. It seems like everybody I know in New York has it. And then later that day, he texted me, I have COVID. So that's his timeline. He's like, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. It's in me.
Yeah.
So are you tracking the illness with some of these people? Like, everyone, I'm assuming everyone's probably like in their 30s, 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s. And
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
And are these people, have you heard of anyone having like anything serious, or does it all feel kind of like a version of your mild, I'm still going to do my podcast COVID?
I mean, I feel pretty sick. I mean, I feel like pretty bad, and I have felt pretty bad since Thursday. It feels like a medium level flu. I mean, it's not nothing. It definitely is not like a cold. I feel pretty sick. I think we've all been living for the past, since the vaccines, like, okay, we could do some stuff pretty normally, but the fact that like everyone on the show got sick and a lot of us were boosted, it just is like not seems to be the case anymore.
You were doing a stand-up show and everyone in the green room got infected.
Yeah, and Brent was wearing his mask the whole time in the green room.
I was not in the green room. I was not in the green room.
Outside of it. I was wearing a mask most of the time in the green room and didn't wear it on stage.
What I was going to add was he said it's a medium flu. I feel for me it's been a mild to medium flu.
Yeah, mild to medium. Yeah.
Mild to medium. Not to downplay it.
Not spicy. It's not spicy or anything like that.
I think the reason it doesn't feel as, I mean, I've definitely felt way sicker in my life. And I think the reason why is because was fully blown, and I'm fully blown and fully boosted and all that stuff and fully vaccinated with Moderna too. And it's the Omicron variant, which I think that the symptoms aren't as severe for Omicron, even though it is much more transmissible than other variants.
What I have heard. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
No, you can go ahead. You go ahead.
Wait, can I go ahead?
You go ahead. Oh, wait, actually, can we cut again? And Natasha, yeah, go.
Brent, did you get sick when you got your boost?
Yeah, and I would say that first of all, I definitely felt worse when I got my second shot for Moderna.
Than you do now?
What's that?
Than you do now?
Than I do now, yeah. And I think I probably felt worse when I got my booster shot too than I do now.
But that only lasted one day.
Brent, can I just say that's kind of an irresponsible message for you to bring to the world?
No, I don't want. It's not
easier to get
irresponsible.
the virus.
What I'm saying is that if I hadn't been boosted, though, I'd probably be way worse now. Is the thing. If it hadn't been for that. So I think that's the reason why.
Well, what's interesting is the data's not in. So like what happens when we start to see like all the unvaccinated people getting Omicron, what happens?
That's what I was going to say.
I think we're on the same tip. Moshe.
Why don't we just say it at the same time? Okay.
I don't know if we'll
Let's
have
try
it
it.
word for word.
It'll be like improv. Okay.
Okay.
They say
this is like a medical podcast.
This is like a medical improv. It's
okay.
Yeah. Doctor, yes, and yes.
No, how about this? We'll go word for word. You do a word, I do a word.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
They.
Right, they.
Okay, you want they? Okay, you go they.
I'll do they.
Okay, you're they them.
Yeah, I do they them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they.
Say
that
the
reason
there
are
less
severe
symptoms
with
Omicron
is
that
the
people
who
are
getting
the
variant
are
vaccinated
people, and therefore,
therefore
I
said
so.
No, I was going to jump in. Oh wait, say people again.
People
of.
No.
Wait,
no,
I still don't
Brent.
understand though. Why? What's the point though?
They say that the reason that people think perhaps the reason Omicron seems less severe is because it's the variant that is most infecting vaccinated people, and so a lot of vaccinated people are getting it.
Why are more vaccinated people getting Omicron than unvaccinated?
Because what Omicron has done is it's broken down the defensive barrier that the vaccine has. So you will get infected at an almost equal rate to an unvaccinated person, but it hasn't broken down the protective barrier in terms of severity. So you can get it just as easily, but it will still not make you all fucked up and go to the hospital.
What if you're unvaccinated? And why can't you get
That's
Omicron?
what they don't know. That's what they don't know. They don't know.
It's not that less unvaccinated people are getting it. It's just that so many more vaccinated people are getting it that if 100 people get a virus and half of them are vaccinated and half of them are unvaccinated, then a higher percentage of those people total are going to have less severe symptoms, basically.
Right.
Yeah, so that's true. And then also I will say this too, that something that I experiencing now that I didn't experience after the booster was that, or any of the shots, was that, stuffy, runny nose and a little bit of a cough and so forth. Those are annoying things that I have to have now.
Also, as Brent was saying, it's a mild to medium flu, but unlike the flu, this is scarier and has a level of shame and weirdness to it that is different.
Have a cold, no one's ever like, ugh, or how dare you?
Or stay away from me.
Or how dare you have,
They're
how dare you have hung out with me? Right.
Well, also, it's. I feel to be totally honest, I was about some people. I was a little bit, I don't know, somewhat judgmental a little bit if somebody got COVID-19 because I thought, they weren't being safe, and now I have it. I feel a little bit shameful about that, but at the same time, I think this variant is so contagious that. Maybe actually, I didn't feel that way.
In a weird way, Brent, it's like this variant is so contagious that your judgment was justified and totally cool in the past.
No, but I really think if Brent got Omicron, we're all going to get it. Because Brent stayed in his house. He did not go out. He wouldn't even do outdoor activities with us. He finally went to a show, wore a mask, and got Omicron.
Let me just say, you wore a mask that resembled wrapping paper of a child's birthday present. not a N95 mask.
You should have worn the N95.
It had Winnie the Pooh characters on it.
That's right,
but the holidays are coming up, and he's going to have to use that pretty soon.
That's
right. I was trying to kill two birds with one stone. I was trying to use my wrapping paper and use it as a mask.
That's like the worst wrapping paper ever. Oh, this was actually my COVID mask just before I wrapped your present with it.
I have two important questions. One is, what are you guys going to think if like a bunch of people come out and they're like unvaccinated and they're like, yeah, it was really super mild for us too?
Well, I'm just going to think that was the Omicron variant, obviously.
Right.
And I do want to say, we don't know for sure that you have Omicron. No one knows, right?
It doesn't. But the thing is, the fact that we all got it and we're all boosted and I don't know, we've both been doing a lot of comedy shows. I've been on the road a lot. So
you're saying the fact that nobody in the green room was spared makes you think it's got to be this hyper contagious.
And the fact that it was a few people on the show and the whole audience was, maybe 50 people in masks, whereas I was just, I just last weekend did 5 shows for 400 people, no masks every show.
Okay.
They weren't my crowds.
Okay.
It wasn't my crowds. Don't worry. I was hoping it was someone else.
Okay.
But I just mean, there wasn't a mask in the
too,
audience in Arizona, and I didn't get sick at all. It just seems like I've been doing such riskier stuff. This was like a less risky thing. I don't know.
Right. You had that weird group sex party at a hookah bar, right?
Yeah, I did.
Right at the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, the hookah bar was called Fully Blown.
fully sucked.
Fully blown,
fully sucked.
Fully sucked.
Okay,
fully sucked.
and my other question is, Andrew, what are you taking to get better? And Brent, what are you taking?
Good questions.
Andrew, you want to go first? What are you
I'm
drinking?
doing a cocktail of weird hippie stuff.
Give us some details.
Patchouli.
Like a lot of tea, elderberry syrup, just different stuff my acupuncturist gave me to help your immune system. It's not, like zinc, stuff that even my friend who's a doctor told me to take, vitamins.
Is it similar to the cordial that Santa Claus gave Lucy Pensive in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? That
Moshe doesn't believe in...
elderberry. I don't believe in elderberry.
You don't believe in stuff that makes your immune system stronger?
I only believe in younger berry. That's sort of more my thing.
No, I'm vitamin C, vitamin D3.
The younger the berry, the sweeter the juice.
You know what? I think that if you're drinking tea and you're taking supplements, it's probably good and probably not bad. I think it's good.
Even drinking water is probably good. And Brent, what about you? I know you're not. Do you believe in the elderberry?
Yeah, well, I'm using I'm doing Old Spice. I do an Old Spice spray on my sort of pelvic area and under the arms, and that has been working out pretty well.
She's not asking you how you're curing your full-blown anal crabs. She's asking you how you're...
I wasn't talking about anal crabs in that case.
No, I thought anal crabs, you just spray a little Old Spice on there.
No, I said anal crabs. I was talking about whole pelvic area. I'm talking about crotch, not anal stuff. But anyway.
No, really, what are you taking, Brent?
I have been taking zinc tablets, Zicam. I have been taking that. I've been taking
Sandwiches. He's been doing sandwiches.
Oh, you've been eating a bunch of sandwiches?
I've been doing Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
I've been doing Jersey Mike's. I do the veggie sandwich at Jersey Mike's. I do. I've been doing oil of oregano tablets or capsules or whatever.
Natasha's been doing oil of Olay, and it looks great on you.
Oil of Olay is great. Right. L'Oreal is good too. L'Oreal. Paul Mitchell. You might want to look into that. No, I've been doing. I take vitamin D. I've been taking. You know what the D stands for, right?
No, what is that? What's that, Brent?
You don't know what the D stands for?
No, please let us know.
What is it?
Yeah, what is it, Brent?
I'm not sure actually. What the D stands for. I don't know. I wish I did. That's why I'm asking you, actually.
Brent, you're good sick. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you should be full blown more often.
I should get the coronavirus more often. Huh?
Well, you hear that, folks? That was our first COVID cough on the Endless Honeymoon podcast. That's a real COVID cough you're hearing right now.
Funny.
Now,
I actually did cough earlier, and I muted my mic just to
listen.
I think you guys would like this. I asked my friend the other day. He's actually my employee. He edits my podcast and films for us and stuff. But I said, how much would I have to pay you to come sleep next to me tonight all night? I was like, what's the amount of money that you would just fully get COVID and not worry about it? And it was around $20,000.
Laura, can we ask, would you, for $20,000, platonically sleep next to Andrew in a full blown...
No masks, and we're going to be face to face, like
right,
real close. Right.
Take out any weirdness of how much you would not like to sleep in the same bed as Andrew that you've discussed with us offline many, many times. Would you? What's that? 30,000. So she's 30.
Okay.
So our podcast producer is worth 10,000 more than yours. So that's kind of a cool.
By the way,
yes.
Mine's younger. Mine's in his 20s.
How dare you? Our podcast producer is in her early teens. Okay, so
all right. So wait, let me say this. One, I wouldn't do that for. I mean, I would do it for $3 million to sleep with Andrew.
Wait.
You already have COVID.
You have COVID.
I know.
Should we?
Second of all.
Oh wait, I have one more question. I have real questions.
Wait, Brent has a second of all.
Okay.
If you guys want to know, I mean, I also am taking garlic pills once a day as well.
That's to ward off vampires, though, mostly, right?
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, vampires it's circulated. It's infected the vampire community, especially in Los Angeles.
Oh man.
I actually do have a question, that I have.
I mean, and I'm taking emergency pack. I'm doing an emergency thing every day as well. So there's a lot of things that I actually have been doing that hippie stuff,
Andrew, what's your question?
I have a question. My question is, and maybe someone out there knows the answer to this.
Oh.
Do you think there is any danger in Brent and I hanging out? I don't want to hang out with him right now. It's not a problem. But do you think
our
we would get
podcast
sicker?
producer is saying yes.
Yeah, why?
We could get sicker being around each other?
Hold on, why? They do because they got infected. She said it's because you don't know that you two have the same variant, but they do because they got infected at the same time.
She's 18. She knows.
Yeah. She's 18 in 3 years. Okay. Natasha, sorry, you had a question? Oh, Brent, go ahead.
Sorry to keep cutting in. I wanted to say another thing I've been doing is I've been taking aspirin. I don't take it all the time, but that helps too in just making me feel.
We talked to you 2 days ago and you had just taken an aspirin and we were like, oh, you're like great. But then we talked to you today and you sounded like shit.
No, I didn't. Did I really? Do I sound bad now?
Well, I was like,
okay.
Brent, because what day? You guys are on day 5 right now of your illness?
I'm on day 5.
4.
He's on day 4. He's on 4. I'm on 5.
How could that be? You have this. You caught it at the same time.
I don't know. I started getting symptoms a day earlier than him.
Oh,
He did, yeah.
I see. So you guys are going on this 10 days from the onset of symptoms for when you return to society.
That was another thing you missaid was that we didn't start today our 10 days for the next 10 days. I've got 5 days left.
And going back to the timeline thing, Moshe and I spent a whole day together the day after I was infected.
Right. And that was really crazy and scary, but also really interesting that I could spend an entire day in close quarters because in a car. We tested the day before the day you got infected. We took a PCR test together because I was coming with Andrew to support him when he was doing his James Corden set, which he did, which went very well. You guys should all check that out on YouTube. And And so we spent all day together in a car, then in a dressing room, and then in a car ride back. I mean, extensive periods of unmasked.
Well, Andrew was clearly not contagious.
5 hours.
Totally. That's interesting to me that he could have that COVID.
It's interesting to know.
Bubbling through his blood, and that I didn't get it.
And you had no masks on together.
We had no masks on together, and I didn't get it. I mean, I assume I didn't get it.
But Moshe, you did.
I haven't.
You did make 20,000 from that.
That's
right.
I made 20,000 to have to watch his James Corden set, which I've seen so many times before. No, but I didn't get it. I mean, I assume I didn't get it. I haven't tested or anything, but I feel pretty good. I have I would say I have like a mild throat cold.
Moshe's tested like 3 times.
No, I tested a lot, and I'm good. Okay, Natasha, you had another.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, someone told me that they got COVID, but this was the Delta variant.
Oh,
and
please, Natasha, let me stop you right there. No, that's not what we're talking about now.
And they said it felt kind of psychedelic in a bad way. Like, do you feel any kind of like anything emotionally or like internally about COVID having it or no? Do you have any insight?
Yeah, how are you emotionally? No, because that's a really great question. No, I'm not joking.
Was that too heavy?
No, that's a great question. This is the big, Moby Dick kind of like thing that we've been running from. I guess Moby Dick you're running towards, but it doesn't matter. The thing that we've been protecting ourselves from and it's loomed so large in our consciousness for 2 years, and now you have it. How do you feel emotionally about it?
I was on the phone with Brent on Thursday, just having like a very casual conversation, and I took a home test just because like my nose started running very slightly, and I was like, well, I might as well take a test because I kind of do that every now and then. And then it was positive when I was on the phone with him, and it was such a surreal experience because I didn't feel that sick then, and it was very surreal. And then that day and the next day, it felt very like dark and ominous, and like you're saying, this white whale thing. But then after that, and I've like thought about how I got it, and I kind of like him. Whatever, we're all gonna get this.
Right.
You got it like almost on the stage, honey.
Oh, that's kind of beautiful.
You got it on the boards.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah. It's like, how we all say as comedians, like the stage is where we feel most alive. For the two of you, the stage is where you will have caught your death. So that's kind of cool, beautiful symmetry.
Brent?
I sort of do hope that everybody gets it in a way so that I don't feel like such a freak.
You feel like a freak right now?
No, I'm just kidding. But I do. No, I mean, I was annoyed because I was so careful, right? For the most part, I guess. Except, I guess I did because I wore that wrapping paper mask.
Well, you went and did shows. I mean, that's the thing is we all had to make some decision.
But for a year and a half, he wouldn't even come to our yard.
But it's true. But at a certain point, once we got vaccinated, we all were like, well, let me re-enter society on some level or another. And now there's a variant that's like, we'll meet you there.
And I was bringing using my own microphone at all shows, including the one we did on Monday. And I didn't, I even though it was just a regular mask, I was wearing that all the time when I wasn't on stage. And actually, Andrew thinks we got it from the stage we just think it was in the air on the stage. And anyway, well, whatever. But so I was so careful about it. And so I was kind of annoyed but also I thought, well, I can't, it's kind of like the idea of crying over spilled milk or whatever. You kind of just have to accept it. It's just, hey, this is it. So
and I do feel like getting it when you're being pretty careful, it's kind of like, well, it's not my fault. Whereas if it were like, I got it for like doing something that was really dangerous or something, I don't know, like I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, I was wearing a mask, and then I had to work. I had to do a comedy show, and then I got it. What are you gonna do?
I mean, we need people like us to be getting it because then, hopefully it'll be a less strong, and then isn't that how it moves out of being a pandemic and into the disease being endemic, like the flu, and then it's not such a horrifying.
But you would think with the vaccinations that we would already be there, but it's not seeming to be the case.
By the way, I don't even get close to people. I bow. I don't shake people's hand.
No, you are like definitely the most germaphobe. You were like so strict during COVID.
So there's something about that if I got it and I'm like that, then wow, there's so many people hugging all the time.
Right.
And I try to avoid that.
I will tell you this, weirdly, when I found out I didn't have it, I was definitely relieved because we have an unvaccinated kid at home and stuff. But there is a part of me that's like, God, I wish I just got it. Like, I wish I got it with all my friends and like I could get this out of my system. And because it's so clearly mild, at least.
I have a question.
To me?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
No. Here's the thing I don't understand. Dr. Fauci yesterday was just like, everyone can go, as long as you're vaccinated, go spend time with your families. It's relatively safe. So I'm very confused. If, Brent, you're getting this masked in a green room, how are people not going to be getting this
not in a green? I was outside the green room.
You were outside the green room. So how are people on their holiday travels not going to be spreading this wildfire? I don't understand.
Well, I can answer that, actually. There is a way to avoid it.
Dr. Moshe?
There's a way to avoid it. Let me just ask you this. What holiday is coming up?
Christmas.
You're referring Christmas. And what's the first syllable in Christmas?
Christ.
And that is the answer to your question. That is how to avoid COVID-19 this holiday season, is to focus on...
Right, because I think Fauci is assuming if you're going to be traveling to visit your family this season, you do believe in Christ.
Exactly.
And he knows that Christ will...
You guys make light of it, but it's a good question.
We need to move away from things like elderflower and into things like Jesus...
Cold Spice.
No, you're right,
Spice
Natasha.
Christ.
And what I think is happening is, in my world right now, every single person I know has COVID because it's all comedians. And I think we're like canaries in the coal mine in some weird way. And all these comedians in New York and LA have been doing shows the last week, and a lot of them are sick. And I feel like the rest of society is going to catch up in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be brutal and not so good.
And we will
and you're
find,
right.
we'll
you're
find,
right, Natasha.
and we'll find
Thank
out
you.
if Omicron has actually become a milder version of COVID, or if it's just that the first wave of people that are getting it are the people who are so bold. They were vaccinated, so they're like, "Fuck it, I'm back to full on normal life."
But flying right now would be bold. Not necessarily in the plane, but just getting to a place. Surely not everyone at the airport has their mask on properly.
Well, they say that this thing is so contagious. If you fly on an airplane, you will be in an airplane, or at least walking by someone in the airport by someone who's got this variant. Mm-hmm. So, our best wishes to everybody this holiday season, guys. Mm-hmm. Now that you're here, and
thanks for letting us ask you all these questions.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah. Thank you.
Wait, hold on. Do you feel like it's still in your lungs at all?
I haven't felt that yet.
I have an oxygen thing from my finger that I've been using, which says my oxygen is fine. It's just, I'll just say this new variant is sad and stressful that all of us have taken as many precautions as we can, getting vaccinated and boosted and trying to limit stuff. And it doesn't really matter. And it seems like we're back to square one on just being afraid of everything. And it's scary and sad.
Yeah, but it also, at the same time, I do feel like it would have been way worse for us if we hadn't been.
No, totally true.
And they say,
I feel,
of course,
And they say, I'm sorry, Brent, what were you saying?
Well, I wouldn't have even done any live show if I wasn't vaccinated and boosted.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been doing that stuff anyway.
Well, they say that the messaging should change at this point because of how infectious this particular variant is, from get vaccinated so you don't get COVID to get vaccinated because the booster really works to prevent hospitalization and death. So get vaccinated to save your life.
But these young boys wouldn't be hospitalized or...
But they might be severely ill, and they might be hospitalized. You don't know how your body will react to something like that. And that is what I'll say. Before we transition, I will say that we wouldn't have had you on. I mean, you guys are two of my best friends. We wouldn't, but I don't respect you comedically, and we wouldn't have had you on if you didn't have COVID. No, what I was going to say was
worth it.
No, you're going to say, now that you have COVID-19, I don't respect you at all.
No, we wouldn't have had you on if you didn't both have mild cases that we can have some fun talking about. Obviously, as this variant gets more intense, there's going to be people getting really sick and dying of this thing. So it's all in the spirit
Hopefully
of
not.
Someone will die. I mean, 1 million people died of the last two variants, but this one, it's going to be a hard stop. It seems like someone will die. So anyway, we're not making fun of that. We're making
and rest
fun.
In peace to that one person who will die.
Rest in peace. But Natasha, you have any more questions before we go into more endless honeymoon related stuff?
No, I'm just depressed for venues and restaurants.
Yeah, that is sad. Those are the victims that are going to die from this thing for real. All right. Well, listen, on that note, I thought because this is the endless honeymoon, Natasha, you're going to be able to keep recording? Yeah. As we think about the various antique restaurants in Los Angeles that will no longer be around.
Okay.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
What I love the most?
What?
Waking up next to you. In Brooklyn in sheets. That's the real pleasure point.
I like those sheets.
The sheets are great. And they're the most comfy sheets we've ever slept on. We've been sleeping on them the entire time we've done this podcast, and I got to tell you, it's worth it to get some nice sheets. But don't worry, you don't have to splurge because Brooklinen has taken the middleman out of the sheet game. They're high quality, unbelievably comfortable sheets, and they don't cost as much as those big old names.
Brooklinen started with bedding, but now offers all the essentials to make every corner of your home next level. 5-star sheets were just the start, and their collection of must-haves now include everything from dreamy decor to cozy loungewear to their new line of slippers.
So give the gift of comfort this holiday season and save while you do it. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code HONEYMOON for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100.
That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code HONEYMOON, you know how to spell that, for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100.
brooklinen.com, promo code HONEYMOON.
Oh, can I also say my eye is like really infected and I think it's from COVID.
Okay, thanks for that. Definitely. Okay.
Oh,
because
no.
Andrew.
You think that's from COVID?
Andrew.
I think the COVID went into
no
my
way.
eye.
You know what that
Wait.
looks like? Straight up a bite from a hardcore
hold-
full-blown anal crab.
Hold
for
on.
sure.
Andrew, is that really you think might be from COVID?
I do. It
Dude.
showed up the exact same day as my symptoms, and either my immune system is really down, so my eye somehow got infected, and I desperately want to go to an eye doctor, but I can't right now because I have COVID.
Go to ZocDoc. No, hold on. I want to do a commercial for ZocDoc and get an eye person to do a video visit with
They'll
you.
do it?
Yeah, and then
Video
you have
visit.
to look
That's
for
what
it.
I want to do. I've been trying to find the information.
ZocDoc, and then tell them vision, and then there will be some guy or some lady sitting in the Palms or wherever they live and do a video visit with you, and then maybe give you something to put on it.
Okay.
Didn't you say
I'd
your
like
guy
to get
was like
some antibiotic?
Didn't you say your guy was like flirting with you?
Yeah, I did a video doctor visit. It was like kind of uncomfortable, but he's like, "Are you in the bathroom?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just like wanted to go into another room." Anyway.
Andrew, when I said we wouldn't have had you on unless we knew you had a mild case of COVID, I didn't know about that eye thing, and I definitely would not have had you on at all had I known you looked like that.
Well, listen,
Sorry.
Omicron boys, you should check back in with us in a few days. Let us know how it's all going. Oh wait, Moshe, you're gonna make them do the podcast? They're sick.
What do you mean? We got to do a whole episode.
I'm happy to do the podcast. I'm
Okay.
not. I don't.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
guys
I
want to
feel
like
fine.
give advice?
Yeah, well, listen, because there's so many people on the call right now, we're not going to do any. We're not going to have anybody else call in. We thought we have some write-in questions for the people who have asked us for advice, and so we thought we could run through. Some of these. Here's a good one for both of you, I think. What's the best way to make a connection when you don't know anyone at a party?
You just see if anybody has the same shoe as you, and you just go, "Hey, look, we have the same shoes."
That's good.
That requires so much luck, though.
And nobody wears your shoes, Brent.
Actually, unfortunately, my shoe has become very popular.
Clean
It's
white
a big
Reeboks?
issue. Yeah, white Reeboks. The classic Club C in the last few years became extremely popular. It's a whole thing. But it's a whole thing we can go off on, but let's not. But here's what you do: if nobody has your shoe, leave the party immediately. Go to your local Payless, get the shoe that they have, and then go back to the party and make a connection.
Wait, Brent, can we talk about what you did regarding your shoes? We can cut this out if you don't want to do it.
Sure, I don't care.
Brent has been wearing the same shoes, not since I met him, but a version of the same shoes since I met him. When I first met him, he wore Turntex, which I've never heard of before or since. But now but now this is a very similar shoe, which is the classic Reebok plain white, right?
Okay, I've known Moshe for about 20 years, and I would say about 2 years after we met, I switched over to Reeboks. The Reebok, I had Turntech, and I have the classic Club C Reeboks, and I've been wearing that model of shoe. I'm not the same exact pair, but the same model.
How often?
Since
Go ahead.
for almost the last 20 years, and and how often do I switch over?
Yeah, like how many pairs do you have in the house right now?
Well, okay,
So that's what I was trying to get to.
yeah. So I would normally only just have one, or I might have a backup pair just to have ready. But I go through a pair every 2 to 2.5 years, I guess.
What?
Yeah.
You must not exercise or hike or anything.
No,
or
you
go
must
outside.
not have ever met. Have you
Accurate.
ever met Brent? You must
Wait,
not know Brent Weinbach.
You're
must be
so
right about that,
sedentary that you need to change your only shoe that you wear once every 2.5 years.
Well, yeah, 2.5 years.
Because I wear tree torns.
I'm not terribly active,
I wear tree
Well,
torns, and I have to get new ones like every 2 months.
Well,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
crazy.
You're
That's really
I'm always like
Well-
walking the reservoir. They get all dusty.
every 2 months though.
3 months? Not every 2.5 years.
The thing is, Brent really wants to exercise, but too much movement disturbs the crabs, and they get all pissed off.
They get agitated.
And they start biting.
Oh yeah, that's
not good.
I gotta please the crabs. You know? I do what the crabs want. I do what the crabs want.
But wait, Brent. So then what happened with the Reebok? Because I want to get into some more advice questions here.
Well, okay. Look, the Reeboks were. I mean, I like this Reebok shoe. I like it a lot. Okay, I've been wearing it for the last whatever years, and then a couple years ago, they changed the design of this shoe that I like so much. They changed the design, and I don't like the new design. I remember getting the new design, and I thought, wait, something's off here. Something feels weird. And I noticed all these things, and I compared them to the previous shoe, and all these things were. So I it's a thing. They just changed the design, and so I had to look for old stock online, and I found one seller on eBay who had old stock. And I cleared them out. I bought all the shoes he had left. And I basically got four. I have now, aside from the ones which I would have already turned over at this point, I would have put them to rest at this point. I'm going to continue to wear them and wear them out really as much as I possibly can to make the life last longer. And I have 4 brand new pairs waiting for me in my. I only have 4 pairs, unfortunately, but that 4 pairs has to last me the rest of my life, which. Considering Omicron variant, maybe might work out.
Might put a new pair on in the middle of the show.
Okay,
right,
Andrew.
But yeah, I have this. I have 4 pairs.
Can I answer the question? Honestly,
yeah. Let's stop.
We should give some real advice to this person. I mean, maybe you could just go up to someone and talk about a shared experience you're all having at that party, like something about the food, something about the drink, something about the ambiance. It's usually like an easy way to start a conversation with someone you don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's why smoking was so cool, because you were like, hey, can I have a cigarette?
What are you supposed to connect on even if you're smoking, though? It's
because
the same thing.
You're talking to them. You're exchanging words, and they're like, oh my God, I don't have any. Or they're like, I don't smoke. Or they're like, oh, haha, I like your shirt. Or whatever,
Also, there
you go, right there. That's what you do. You comment on their clothes. Oh, yeah, that's a cool shirt. Or that's a cool shoe.
That takes more courage.
And if a guy says that to me, I'm like, bye.
Yeah, going out to the smokers area was like a thing too. Even if you weren't asking for cigarettes, like, oh, here, you're taking a break from the party. I'm taking a break from the party. Here we are.
And you know that you're both sinners, so you have that in common.
Right. And you don't have much time left, so you might as well spend it loving each other.
Yeah.
Natasha, did you have a question you wanted to ask these boys?
No, I wanted to ask one of the questions on here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to think of what I do at parties if I'm trying to connect to somebody I don't know. I think I just you just start talking about whatever's going on or just something, you know what I mean? And if they're receptive, if they want to connect too, they're going to be receptive. So unlike Natasha, they won't be like, bye, or whatever.
I mean,
and I feel
about,
like you'll know really quickly whether the person you're talking to is the right person, because they'll either be receptive or they'll be rude.
So true.
Yeah, they're not.
I think that parties in particular, but just social settings in general, it's especially in like cool places like New York and LA, it's very easy to fall victim to the illusion that you're the only person at the party that's uncomfortable and doesn't know how to talk to anybody else, and that everybody else is totally comfortable but they're being standoffish, when in reality most people at most parties are feeling the same way, which is, I just wish I could talk to somebody. I don't fucking know anybody here. Right. So like being friendly goes a long way.
I also am curious how you could ever find yourself at a party where you don't know a single person there. That seems very strange. What's the circumstances where no one there is in your world?
That's true.
Okay, I have a few questions. First one is, how can I get my wife to start shaving her pubes again, or at least her armpits?
Oh, great question.
Do you guys think it's okay for a man to like tell a chick that he likes, his hair preference on her?
That's a very interesting question.
That's tricky because it seems like she used to and maybe doesn't anymore. So maybe he's attracted to a certain thing and she no longer fits that thing, and he is feeling like he wants to be more attracted to her. So I don't know. You have a question?
Yes,
thought,
Brent?
I think I know the solution.
I think I know where you're going with this.
No, I don't think you know.
Okay.
He should shave his own armpits.
Oh, that's cool.
And start going around like that, just start putting his hands up as much as he can and just showing it off, and until she notices.
Oh, that looks cool.
Oh,
I want that.
What happened to your armpit hair? And he goes, I shaved it off.
I just like the way it looks.
Kind of cool, right? It looks kind of classic.
Moshe, would you like it if I had armpit hair?
Let me just say, I won't answer that. I'm not going to answer that
make
question.
Make it look cool is what I'm saying, you know? And then she'll say, that actually does look pretty cool. I'm going to do that.
I'm not going to answer your question, Natasha, but I will say this. This is in a very touchy area for a man because it's sexist to impose your beauty standards on a woman and to tell her to change her body for you. However, once you're married, you guys have entered into a contract that like you're supposed to have full open lines of communication about all of these things, even things that like are like that, or like, you know, some part of it might be about a woman's empowerment. It might not be about a woman's empowerment. Maybe she's just gotten lazy and could take it or leave it, and it won't be offensive. So I think if you're married, especially, but if you're in a relationship, you know, going up to a woman with armpit hair that you think is cute and you've never dated and saying, hey, I'd love to go out with you sometime. Here's a razor. Okay, that I think is probably super sexist and inappropriate. But if you are with the person, I think it's appropriate to say, you know, I kind of miss when you didn't have armpit hair. But if this is something that's important to you, of course, it's your body, your choice. I just wanted to have that communication. What do you think, Natasha?
I think shaving your pubes hurts, and it's like, it really sucks. And once I'm in a relationship, also, I just don't really like that look.
No, but he doesn't mean, I don't assume that this person means that it was clean shaven, but that it used to be like one way.
I think he can say, hey, you know what? I think it was hot when you did that. Does it hurt? Like, do you think is that something you'd ever do? It really turned me on. But if not, you know.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
It's so hard though, because you never know what someone's going to turn into. Like Moshe was eating popcorn the other day with like a soup ladle. So he could get the flavors like equal, you know, in bed with the I'm just saying. I didn't sign up for that, but I love you and you can keep doing it, and I think it's cute, and I'm telling your friends because I thought they would think it was cute.
Actually, the cool thing about it is I did that and she's only mentioned it on 4 podcasts now. So it's cool.
Well, because I was like, what's that noise? And it was like a clang. You know, it kept clanging.
Let's speaking of clang, let's start clanging on, because let's do another.
I do think the way we talked about it as a preference and like it turned me on. I think maybe that's the way to do it.
And also, by the way, I don't think it's rude to. I mean, I think you can a non-offensive way of saying that you prefer no hair or hair is. I mean, the vagina. That's harder to talk about, but you know, armpit hair. You could sort of say this. Hey, if somebody has armpit hair, that's cool. That's great. And they have somebody who likes that. That's cool. I mean, I kind of like more of a classic look. I mean, not hardcore classic going back to caveman days, but I mean, classic as far as, you know, the 50s, you know, the nuclear family kind of classic look. I kind of like that classic
landing
look.
strip.
And, you know, yeah, I personally, just my own preference. I kind of like, I like shaved armpits for.
Oh yeah, but no, wait. If you do like a fully shaved pubic area, you could be like, I like a classic look, not going back to caveman days or even the 50s. I'm more like a
podcast producer.
1999. I like a 1999 kind of like
landing strip,
Britney Spears era, kind of like Brazilian, like that kind of era.
I thought you were going where Andrew went, which is I thought but a classic. I like a classic look. You know, classic when you were before puberty, kind of era. You know,
the classic days. Okay,
Moshe, one more question and then we have to go.
That's true. Is it unreasonable? This one's perfect for you guys. Is it unreasonable to break up with someone who refuses to get vaxxed?
No, it's not unreasonable.
I mean, for me, it would not work. I don't think we would be compatible if they weren't on.
No, I mean, you have COVID. She's unvaxxed. It's not going to work.
Right. You'd be risking her life by dating her. Okay, go ahead.
I have a good last question. Oh, go ahead.
It's like this. She has, I have COVID-19. She has armpit hair. It's just not going to work.
Okay, I have a good last question. My boyfriend is into flipping biohazard cars, meaning someone might have died in it. Is that a red flag?
No.
I think it's kind of cool.
This is a cool hobby.
It's a black flag.
I mean, I guess there must be good money in it because most people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
think it sounds like a cool idea.
Do you have to tell the owner that someone died in the car?
Maybe only for the first sale.
No,
that's why he's making money.
And I think the way you do it is you just drive around the city looking for dead people in cars, and then you kick the person out, take their car, and sell it. I think that's all you have to do.
Okay, quick. Let's go through some more quick. What's a casual way to bring up when will we get engaged to your partner? Like this is a person saying they want their partner to propose to them. What's a casual way to bring that up?
You guys can make jokes because I know the answer.
If you're comfortable with your partner, it's easy to talk about. So what do you think about getting married? Anyone can bring it up. What do you think about getting married? What do you think? It's that easy.
Andrew?
You can say like, it would be so fucking hot if you proposed to me.
No,
I think
Andrew,
you say it like this. No, I think you say it like this.
You guys don't know anything.
No, I think you say it like this. You say it like this. You go up to the person and you say, "Hey, if I were to reshave my vagina and armpit hair, would you propose to me?"
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to go almost the same place. It was, you know what's even hotter than a shaved vagina? You and me getting engaged.
No, here's what you do. You just make sure that the person who you want to ask you to marry them knows that if they did ask you, you would say yes, because nobody wants to be rejected. So you just have to make sure you put it out there that the people know. I did it with you. I don't know how I did. Some flirty thing, whatever. I probably started saying, I probably would get married. Like you just have to kind of let the person know. But anyway.
Okay, here's a question.
Let me just say real quick, I think by the time you're ready to get married, I think it's pretty easy to talk about marriage with the person. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be something that you have to tiptoe around, I think, by the time you're ready to get married, I think.
I kind of feel what both of you are saying. I mean, yeah, I think it's all, we're talking open lines of communication.
I prefer a more manipulative route.
You always choose that, and I like that. I really respect that about you. Natasha will come up with a white lie when the truth will absolutely do, and I've always liked that about her.
Thank you.
Should we wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, let's put these boys out of their misery. We told them 45 minutes.
We're not in misery. I'm not in misery at all. Actually, I'm having fun. This is fun, I think.
Well, boys, I wish we could go all night. And in fact, you guys are such good friends of mine that if we wanted to fill this podcast episode out, we could probably call you back in an hour. But we do have to wrap this up. And even as you two are wrapping up your experience in this mortal coil, I will say this. As you enter the last month of your lives, I want to say that it's been really great being both of your friends, individually and as a group. What? I mean, these two guys are two of my best friends, and I'm sad to lose them.
He's right. It has been fun.
I appreciate it. And can we? Yeah. I mean, hey, look, our work will live on YouTube and wherever else you
podcast
can find
apps.
Stuff.
Not just YouTube, but this podcast, the Endless Honeymoon podcast, your swan song. It all led here. And
Moshe, will you plug them?
Of course.
And I just want to say, Omicron, at the end of the day, it was a mild death.
Andrew, of course, can be seen on podcasts, but outside his podcast, or you can check out his James Corden set that he just did. Brent Weinbach is the co-host of the Poundcast podcast and another podcast as well, Brent.
The Legacy Music Hour, video game music podcast.
Of course. And both of them are, of course, brilliant stand-up comedians. And also, you should get tickets to our New Year's Eve digital New Year's Eve comedy show that we are going to pre-roll before this podcast because we have not yet made the announcement that we're canceling our live show in Oakland, but now we will make that, and you should get tickets, whatever the link will be. Andrew Michaan, Brent Weinbach, thank you for joining us on the Endless Honeymoon podcast.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to run upstairs, but you guys can keep talking to Moshe.
Cool. Can I come hang out for a bit?
Yeah, come on over. Why not?